Assalamu alaikum all. So today I am going to be talking about learning a new language without actually speaking it. Because most of the time I used to think that, oh yeah, to learn a new language, you should be talking and saying that language as much as possible. You hear about these teachers where you just go in, you're not allowed to speak any English. You have to speak the other language, the target language that you're learning, be it French, Arabic, Spanish, whatever it is. You're not allowed to speak English. And some people think, that way is the best way to learn. However, I believe well, for me anyway, that is not the best way to learn a new language. And actually, by not speaking a language will help you pick up a language faster. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this Inspired Iqbal channel where I talk about my journey as a Muslim and learning a language. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean, Iqbal? This sounds very confusing. Of course you have to speak the language whenever you're learning something new. But however, if you think about it, there is a problem with speaking a new language and one that you don't know that well. And basically, it's a very difficult thing to do. Let's break it down. You have to think about the words that you want to say, they have to come to you. You have to also kind of put them together in the right kind of sentence structure. It needs to be in the right tense, whether it's past, present, or future. So you might say, I am going to the shop as opposed to I went to the shop. There's also, like, for example, in French and Arabic, which is what I'm learning, there's lots of grammar rules as well. And there's like these verb conjugations. So, there's different words, whether it's, I'm going, I've already been, or I, or you. And there's all of these sort of words you need to sort of come up with. And also, if you're talking to someone at the same time, you have to kind of understand what they're saying as well, kind of figure out what they're saying, and then do this whole process again, try and figure out the words and stuff like that. So there is a lot to do. And speaking a language can actually fill you up with a lot of sort of anxiety. And you feel pressure, you have to kind of talk back to that person and things like that. And it can be quite stressful doing this whole kind of thing. And also by trying to speak a target language before you're kind of ready as well can actually stop people from picking up that language. For me, I know when I was learning Arabic, it was kind of very difficult for me to come up with words and try and speak a particular language. And in the end, I ended up sort of giving up. And I think one of the reasons was that, I think I was just finding it too difficult to speak that language. And it was just, really tough just to kind of get the vocab, the tense and everything kind of together, trying to remember everything, especially at the beginning. Now, a channel I spoke about before is Lingo Steve. Fantastic channel. Definitely recommend people check it out. And basically on that channel, it's he has some really good tips about language learning and one of the best channels out there. Honestly, the way he talks about languages is totally different to how I used to think about speaking languages. And he knows something like 20 languages. He's about 70 years old, and he's got some amazing tips. So now this brings me on to the next point, which is, should you never speak a language? So you might be thinking, hang on, I'm learning this new language. What's the point of learning that language if I'm not going to speak it? Now, that is certainly not what I'm talking about. In the beginning, so this is what I'm talking about. In the beginning, we do not worry about speaking the language. That's what I'm doing, and it's helped me immensely. It's something that, I'm planning to do much, much later on. So first of all, my priority, as I spoke about in my previous video, is just about keeping it fun and enjoyable, because I want to stay hooked in that language. I want to try and make it as easy as possible to pick up that language and stick to it. And the way I'm doing that is I'm basically watching videos in my target language with subtitles in that language. And it's actually a really fun way to learn the language, because I find videos on things that I enjoy. So that's very important, finding videos and stuff that you enjoy, not just random videos. So I'm learning French at the moment, not just random French videos. And if it's not a subject that I'm not interested in. So what I love is food, and obviously France and food. There's a massive love for food in France. It's so well known for food, croissants and bake desserts and all that sort of stuff. And to be honest with you, a lot of the videos I watch are kind of to do with desserts and things like that. And I'll put in the French subtitles and I'll watch it like that. And what I do is, like, if I see a word that keeps coming up, like there's one word that keeps coming up, which is maintenant, which I believe means, now. And I kind of just saw that coming up all the time. It's just kind of just stuck in my head. So I just kind of looked up that word. And now I kind of know that word. And it's like a fun way to kind of pick it up. And yeah, it's definitely really cool. I definitely recommend people doing it. And the key thing is I'm watching the subtitles in French. I'm not actually watching them in English. So that's the whole kind of thing around that. However, I'm also doing a starter book. So I've got a starter book. So I'm just kind of doing some lessons, just picking up some bits of language and stuff like that as well. Because, just to have a little bit of a base. But I'm not letting that stop me from still watching shows and stuff like that and just picking up the odd word here or there. And this is like using this book and also kind of this whole kind of watching videos in the Turkish language is something that I would definitely do more videos about in the future. And one of the things on Lingo Steve's channel, I think he had another person on there, can't remember who his name was that it was talking about comprehension. That's the thing that I'm going to be focusing on. I want to be able to understand the language as the very first step. Once I can understand the language and can understand words quickly, the verb conjugations, the grammar rules, all that stuff, then I would think about speaking. But I'll let the speaking sort of come more naturally. I'll be able to kind of respond quicker, understand words quicker, come out with words quicker in the right tense, with the right grammar rules. So yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic tip from Lingo Steve. It's not one I've kind of seen anywhere else. It's kind of really made a massive difference for me. And for me, I would say it's kind of reduced pressure. It's speaking something definitely I've sort of struggled with, and especially like things like French pronunciation as well. Like there's particular rules how things certainly sound. With Arabic, I kind of know because I read the Quran, and we go to the mosque, you hear people say saying the Quran out loud when I'm praying and things like that. So yeah, with French, there's like all this, like all the sounds and stuff are very kind of new to me. And for example, two words are joined together. If the next word begins with a vowel, there's like all of these sort of rules as well, and how you pronounce it. So that's why this tip has helped me like absolutely massively. And the key thing I would say is try it out. I mean, if anyone's out there learning a language, try this out. Don't worry about speaking. Just kind of look at reading and listening and watching YouTube videos and things like that, and just see how you go. And if you have found it helpful, even if you haven't found it helpful, please leave a comment below. I'll definitely check out all the comments. And yeah, just want to say thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please smash that like button, as it really helps spread this video. Assalamu alaikum.